I don't know about you, but I am super excited about today's feature, who is the definition of cool in music.
I have to agree. In today's tribute, we are sharing interesting facts about historical figures in music, with highlights from the biography of Morris Day, who was the lead singer in a music group called The Time.
Morris Day is known in history as a famous American musician and composer who was born on December 13, 1957 in Springfield, Illinois.
Now, although Day was born in Springfield, Illinois, he grew up in another famous city. At the age of 8 years old, Morris moved to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where he spent most of his youth.
When looking back at Morris Day's education, Morris went to school with a couple of legendary individuals in music history. Day was a high school classmate of both Prince and Andre Simone, and the trio formed an early band called Grand Central.
Up next, the band would separate. That is where Prince would go solo, forming his own band called The Revolution.
But all wasn't lost. With Prince having a deal with Warner Brothers, which allowed him to bring on new artists and groups, it all worked out for Morris Day. After hearing a song that Day put together called Party Up, the two worked out a deal where Prince would use the song and Morris Day would get a record deal, bringing together his group, The Time, in the process.
The Time was an ensemble put together by Morris Day and Prince, made up of musicians who played R&B, rock and roll, and funk in Minneapolis, which included one of the most popular songwriting and production duos in history. That is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Another interesting fact about The Time is Morris Day's leadership. That is where, although Morris helped to put the band together, he was not intended to be the face of the band. But after multiple auditions and other singers not working out, it was decided that Morris would be the front man for The Time.
When checking out this next fact, although The Time was successful, they didn't have a hit song yet. That is where all I can think about is Ice Cream. The Time's third album, Ice Cream Castle, would change things with their hit song, Jungle Love and The Bird.
Up next, 1984 would be a year that Morris Day would be introduced to an international audience. Morris would co-star in the film Purple Rain alongside Prince, playing himself as a band leader in a film that revolutionized music in the 80s.
Morris Day would eventually go solo, releasing his debut solo album, Color of Success, in 1985, and would continue on with his second solo album in 1987 called Daydreaming, which was produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. The album included the chart-topping R&B tune, Fishnet. Moving on, of course, when mentioning all of the success that Morris Day achieved, we have to get into The Time's fourth and final album, Pandemonium. In 1990, The Time scored a #1 R&B hit with Jerk Out, which was written by Prince, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, and Morris Day.
That is pretty cool.
Amazing! And I hope you enjoyed our tribute to Morris Day and The Time here on Fresburg Cartoon.